Welcome back to Talk Tickers, your shortcut to really understanding what matters in these earnings calls.
Absolutely.
Today, we're going to deep dive into Verizon's Q4 2024 call.
Yeah.
And oh boy, there's a lot to unpack.
There is, yeah.
This wasn't just your typical numbers dump. They laid out a vision for the future. It's pretty darn interesting.
Yeah, you know what struck me right away is how they're sort of threading the needle between, capitalizing on what's hot right now, like the boom and fixed wireless access, but at the same time making these big, bold moves in AI, almost like they're playing a long game that nobody else is seeing yet.
Exactly. It's like they're playing 3D chess while everyone else is playing checkers.
Yeah.
But let's back up for a sec. Let's start with the headline numbers.
Okay.
Verizon crushed their Q4 guidance, added a boatload of subscribers,
Yeah.
and their full-year results are rock solid.
It really is impressive.
In Q4 alone, they added almost 1 million new postpaid subscribers, mobile and broadband combined.
Wow.
That's their best quarter for subscriber growth in over a decade.
That's amazing.
And for the full year, they added nearly 2.5 million new postpaid mobility and broadband customers.
It's incredible.
It shows they're not just riding a wave, they're creating their own momentum.
Absolutely. And a huge part of that is FWA, or fixed wireless access. Right? We're not talking about some niche product anymore.
Right.
They ended the year with over 4.6 million FWA subscribers, bringing in over $2.1 billion in revenue from that alone.
Yeah.
By 2028, they're aiming for 8 to 9 million FWA subscribers. This is clearly a cornerstone of their growth strategy.
It's like they looked into their crystal ball, saw the future of home internet, and just went all in. But here's the thing.
What?
They're doing this while making a massive push into AI.
Right.
And not just, using AI to make their services a bit better, but aiming to become the infrastructure provider for the entire AI ecosystem.
Exactly. That's exactly right. This AI Connect strategy they laid out is really about leveraging what they already have, their massive fiber network, and their rapidly expanding edge computing capabilities. These are the exact ingredients that all these AI applications need, right? It's as if they're building the foundation for the next digital revolution.
It's wild. And they're not shy about it either. They were dropping names like Google and Meta. Those are already customers on their AI Connect platform.
Wow.
And they said they have a pipeline of potential deals worth over $1 billion.
It's huge. This could be absolutely massive for them.
I know, it's crazy to think about. But here's the other thing that impressed me.
What's that?
They're not sacrificing financial stability for this growth. They're growing revenue, expanding EBITDA, generating healthy free cash flow. They even raised their dividend for the 18th year in a row.
That's incredible. It's like they're walking a tightrope and doing backflips at the same time.
I know, right? It's like a delicate balancing act, and they seem to be nailing it.
Absolutely. And they're doing all this while keeping their fingers on the pulse of the industry, expanding that Fios footprint, rolling out C-band to more areas, launching an FWA solution specifically for MDUs, multi-dwelling units, and investing in private networks. It's like they're covering all their bases.
They really are. They're not just reacting to trends. It's like they're anticipating them.
Yeah.
If you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, it seems Verizon is positioning itself not just for the next year or two, but for the next decade of technological advancement.
I think that's a really good point. It's a long-term vision.
It is. And get this.
Okay.
They even hinted at a potential revival of the upgrade cycle. That thing where people actually buy new phones? Remember that?
I do. Yeah, it's been a while.
After years of people holding onto their devices forever, they're starting to see a slight uptick in upgrades.
That's interesting.
And they're predicting a much bigger wave in 2025 as a bunch of customers come off their 3-year device payment plans.
That's a really critical detail that a lot of people might overlook.
Yeah.
The upgrade cycle has been sluggish for a while, so even a small uptick now is encouraging.
Yeah.
But if Verizon's right about a bigger upgrade wave in 2025, this could have a significant impact on their revenue and profitability.
Exactly. And to top it all off, they issued strong guidance for 2025, projecting growth in wireless service revenue, adjusted EBITDA, and free cash flow.
Wow.
They're also planning significant capital expenditures to fuel all these growth initiatives. It's clear they're betting big on this vision.
Yeah, what stood out to me about that guidance is they're anticipating this growth even as they absorb the peak impact of promo amortization.
Right.
When they offer those big promotional deals to attract new customers, the accounting impact hits their financials over time.
So basically, they're saying they can handle that accounting hit and still grow their business.
Exactly.
That's impressive.
It is.
They also mentioned reclassifying some revenue from device protection and insurance into their wireless service revenue numbers. So when you're comparing their 2025 performance to previous years,
Right.
keep that in mind. They're raising the bar for themselves.
Yeah, this reclassification is more than just accounting jargon.
Right.
It reflects a strategic shift in how they view their business, recognizing these recurring revenue streams as like integral to their core connectivity offerings.
Right. It's like they're saying, hey, we're not just a wireless company anymore. We're a diversified connectivity powerhouse.
Exactly.
But okay, let's get back to AI for a second. They really hammered home this AI Connect strategy, basically betting big that their network and edge computing capabilities will be crucial for the next wave of AI application.
Yeah, and it's a bold move, but you have to admit they're in a pretty good position to do this.
Right.
Their network is vast, robust, and built to handle massive data traffic, and they're strategically positioned at the edge, which is essential for reducing latency and enabling those real-time AI applications that everyone's talking about.
They're not just talking, they're walking the walk.
Right.
Remember those big names they mentioned, Google and Meta?
Yeah.
Those are just the tip of the iceberg. They're already seeing huge demand.
Huge, yeah, and their pipeline of potential AI deals is worth over $1 billion.
I know. That's not just chump change. That's a clear signal that their strategy is resonating with the market.
Absolutely.
So to recap, massive fiber network, expanding edge computing, attracting big players in the AI space.
Yeah.
It's a pretty compelling story so far, wouldn't you say?
It is, but it's not all smooth sailing. We have to be realistic, right? The AI landscape is incredibly competitive.
Right.
There are other giants out there all vying for the same slice of the pie. And this technology is evolving at warp speed, so Verizon is going to have to be nimble and adaptable to stay ahead.
That's a good point. But they seem up for the challenge.
They do, yeah.
They've got a track record of innovation. They're pouring money into research and development, and they're clearly willing to embrace new opportunities.
Yeah, they're not just passively watching, they're getting their hands dirty. They even talked about partnering with companies like NVIDIA to completely reimagine how traditional telecom functions can work alongside AI workloads, starting with private networks.
That's right. They're also teaming up with Vulture, a major player in the GPU as a service space.
Oh, wow.
To beef up their AI capabilities, it's like they're assembling an all-star team for this AI game.
They are, yeah. That willingness to collaborate with other industry leaders shows their commitment to this strategy. It's a smart move to leverage that specialized expertise and get their offerings to market faster.
All this talk about AI is making my head spin. But in a good way, it's clear that Verizon is serious about this, and it's going to be fascinating to see how it all plays out.
It will be, but before we get too swept up in the AI hype, let's not forget their core business.
Right.
They are, after all, still a telecommunications company at heart.
True.
Their success hinges on delivering reliable and innovative connectivity solutions to their customers.
True that, but a little diversification never hurt anyone, especially when it involves potentially massive new revenue streams and cutting-edge technology.
Absolutely. It's a wise move to leverage their existing strengths and expertise to tap into these new markets. It's also a reminder that the telecom industry is in constant evolution.
All right.
Companies that are willing to adapt and innovate are the ones that thrive.
So far, it seems Verizon is doing just that. They're firing on all cylinders. Their AI play is definitely intriguing, and they're feeling pretty good about the future. Sounds like a winning combination to me.
It does, but hold on, let's not forget about their pending acquisition of Frontier.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That deal is still in the works, and it has the potential to significantly reshape the competitive landscape.
It's a big one. It's expected to close by early 2026.
Right.
And it'll give Verizon a major boost in their fiber footprint, especially in rural areas.
It's huge. It's like they're preparing for a broadband battle royale.
Exactly. They're setting themselves up to be the ultimate connectivity kings. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. This industry is still super competitive, with plenty of other players making their own moves.
Absolutely. The wireless market, it's incredibly competitive.
Yeah.
We can't ignore T-Mobile and AT&T. They're constantly nipping at Verizon's heels.
Right.
And the cable companies, they're becoming formidable opponents in the broadband arena.
It's a tough landscape out there.
It is.
But Verizon seems to be Holding their own, they're clearly not afraid to fight for market share.
No, they're not.
They've got a strong brand, a reputation for reliability, and a willingness to invest in the future.
And they're not just throwing money at problems, they're being strategic about their investments,
Right.
focusing on areas where they have a clear advantage, and they're not afraid to make those tough decisions, like their recent voluntary separation program, to streamline operations and improve efficiency.
Yeah, it's like they're a well-oiled machine.
They are.
But let's go back to one of the most interesting parts of this earnings call, their focus on AI. They didn't just mention it in passing. They devoted a significant chunk of the call to talking about it.
What I found striking is they view AI as much more than just a way to improve their existing operations. They see it as a fundamental shift in the technological landscape and an opportunity to create these entirely new revenue streams.
Right. It's not just about automating customer service or personalizing ads. They're talking about becoming the backbone of the AI-powered future.
It's a pretty ambitious goal,
It is.
but it has the potential to be incredibly lucrative if they can pull it off.
It does.
It's a long game, for sure,
Yeah.
but one that aligns perfectly with their core strengths: connectivity, data management, and infrastructure. Their bet is that as AI becomes more and more widespread, the demand for their services will only increase.
It makes sense.
It does.
But can we break it down a bit? What exactly is this AI Connect strategy? How does it actually work? I'm still trying to wrap my head around all the technical details.
Okay, let's simplify it. Think of AI as like a super smart brain. That needs a constant stream of information and a powerful network to process it all. That's where Verizon steps in.
Okay.
They're providing the infrastructure, the digital highways and power grids, if you will, that allow AI applications to operate at their full potential.
So they're not creating the AI itself. They're providing the essential ingredients it needs to thrive. Like, they're the farmers growing the wheat that's used to bake all these fancy AI breads.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. Just like farmers can sell their wheat to many different bakeries,
Right.
Verizon can provide their AI infrastructure to a whole range of companies and applications.
Okay, now I'm starting to get it.
Too good.
But where's the money in all this? How does this translate into actual revenue for Verizon?
Okay, so think of it this way. AI applications need massive amounts of computing power and lightning-fast connections.
Right.
Verizon is essentially selling access to their network and their edge computing facilities to the companies building and deploying these AI applications.
So they're basically renting out their digital real estate to the AI giants. Kind of like a digital landlord for the AI age.
Exactly. And because the demand for AI is expected to skyrocket in the coming years, Verizon's in a prime position to capitalize on this trend.
They're sitting pretty then.
They are, yeah. And they're already seeing that strong early demand we talked about.
Right.
And they're investing heavily to expand their capabilities even further.
They even boasted about that pipeline of potential AI deals worth over $1 billion. That's a lot of digital rent checks coming in.
It is. It's a really strong indication that their strategy is resonating with the market.
Right.
And it highlights the potential for this to become a significant new revenue stream for Verizon.
Okay, but let's be real for a second. Is this whole AI thing just hype? Or is it really going to be as transformative as everyone seems to think? I mean, I've heard all sorts of crazy predictions about, AI taking over the world and robots stealing our jobs.
Okay, let's separate the hype from the reality here. AI is a powerful technology, no doubt about it, and it has the potential to revolutionize many aspects of our lives.
Right.
But it's not about to become sentient and enslave humanity.
Yeah, okay, good.
At least not anytime soon.
Okay, good. Good to hear.
But seriously, what are the practical implications of AI for businesses and consumers?
Right.
How is this going to actually change the way we live and work?
Yeah, that's the big question.
Well, AI is already changing how we interact with technology.
Okay.
Think about voice assistants like Siri and Alexa, or personalized recommendations on streaming services.
Right.
These are all powered by AI.
Yeah.
And as the technology advances, we're going to see AI used in even more sophisticated ways.
So we're talking about like self-driving cars, personalized medicine, robots that do our laundry.
Those are all possibilities, but the real impact of AI is likely to be more subtle and pervasive.
Right.
It'll be embedded in the systems and services that we use every single day, making them smarter, more efficient, and more personalized.
So less about robots taking over the world and more about AI working behind the scenes to make our lives easier and more convenient.
Exactly. It's about augmenting human capabilities, not replacing them entirely.
That's a much more comforting thought.
I think so.
But how does all of this tie back to Verizon's AI Connect strategy? Why should we care about their role in this AI revolution?
Because they're laying the groundwork for all of it to happen, they're providing the essential infrastructure that AI applications need to function.
Okay.
Think of it like this. AI is the software, and Verizon is the hardware. They
Okay.
both need each other to succeed.
Now it's all starting to click.
Good.
Verizon's betting that their network will become the nervous system of this AI-powered world.
It's a bold vision.
It is, but it's one that's grounded in reality.
It is.
They have the assets, the expertise, and the vision to make it happen.
Absolutely.
And they're already seeing those early signs of success.
They are.
So it'll be fascinating to watch how this all unfolds.
Ooh.
But for now, let's shift gears back to Verizon's core business.
Okay.
They had a lot to say about their performance in Q4 and their plans for 2025.
Right. Let's dig into those details. What stood out to you from their financial results?
Well, besides the fact that they crushed their guidance and added a ton of new subscribers, I was really impressed by their focus on financial discipline.
Yeah.
They're not just chasing growth at all costs.
Right.
They're also laser focused on maintaining a healthy balance sheet and generating strong cash flow.
Yeah, it's refreshing to see a company focused on sustainable growth, not just chasing those short-term gains.
Exactly. It shows a real commitment to long-term value creation,
Yeah.
which is crucial for investors.
Absolutely. They're not about the hype. They're about substance.
Right. They're proving they can grow the business while managing their finances responsibly.
Yeah.
And they're not afraid to make those tough choices, like implementing those voluntary separation programs
Right.
to improve efficiency and streamline their operations.
And you see that focus on efficiency reflected in their financials.
You do.
They expanded their EBITDA margin by 50 basis points for the full year,
That's right.
and they're projecting continued EBITDA growth in 2025.
And speaking of 2025, they sounded really optimistic about the year ahead,
Yeah.
projecting growth in wireless service revenue, adjusted EBITDA, and free cash flow.
That's impressive.
They're also planning to invest heavily in capital expenditures to support their growth initiatives.
What's remarkable is they're expecting this growth even as they absorb that peak impact of promo amortization.
Right.
That really speaks to the underlying strength of their business and the effectiveness of their strategic initiatives.
Absolutely. And they also mentioned that they're reclassifying some device protection and insurance revenue into their wireless service revenue numbers.
Oh, okay.
So when you're comparing their 2025 performance to previous years,
Right.
just something to keep in mind, they're essentially raising the bar for themselves.
Yeah, this reclassification, it's worth noting because it reflects a shift in how they're thinking about their business. They're recognizing that growing importance of these recurring revenue streams and integrating them more closely with their core connectivity offerings.
It's like they're saying, hey, we're not just a one-trick pony. We're a multifaceted connectivity powerhouse.
Exactly. And that diversification is key to their long-term strategy.
Right.
They're not putting all their eggs in one basket. They're spreading their bets across multiple high-growth areas: wireless, broadband, and AI.
So it's a smart approach. It's like having a well-diversified investment portfolio.
Yeah.
You're less vulnerable to market swings when you're exposed to multiple sectors.
Precisely. And Verizon is wisely diversifying into areas that are all experiencing robust growth.
Right.
These are mega trends that are expected to continue for years to come.
So they're riding the wave of multiple tech revolutions.
They are.
It's a pretty sweet spot to be in.
It is, but it's not just about being in the right place at the right time. Verizon's actively shaping their own destiny. They're making those smart investments, embracing innovation, and staying ahead of the competition.
It's impressive to see a company of their size and maturity still be so agile and adaptable.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to shake things up and try new things.
That's the sign of a truly innovative company. They're not content to just rest on their past successes. They're always looking for ways to improve, to evolve.
And they're doing it while still delivering strong financial results.
It's pretty amazing.
It's like they found the secret sauce for sustainable growth.
Yeah, it's a combination of strong leadership, a clear vision, a willingness to embrace change, and just a laser focus on execution.
Plus a healthy dose of ambition.
Of course.
They're not just trying to maintain their position as a leader in the telecom industry.
Right.
They're aiming to completely redefine what it means to be a connectivity company in the age of AI.
It's a very ambitious goal,
It is.
but they seem to be well equipped to actually achieve it. They have the resources, they have the talent, and they definitely have the determination to make it happen.
And their recent performance suggests that they're well on their way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's going to be fascinating to watch their journey unfold.
It will be.
But for now, let's zoom in on some of the specific initiatives they outlined for 2025.
Okay. Sounds good. What stood out to you?
I was particularly intrigued by their plans to expand their Fios footprint. They're aiming to increase their open-for-sale locations by a whopping 50%.
Wow.
To 650,000.
That's massive.
It's a massive undertaking.
It is. It's a clear sign that they see fiber as a cornerstone of their future. And, it's a very smart move considering that ever-increasing demand for high-speed internet.
Especially with all the remote work, streaming, and online gaming these days, fiber is the gold standard for connectivity.
It really is.
And it's the foundation for their FWA strategy.
Sure.
They're building up that backbone that'll allow them to deliver super fast internet speeds wirelessly. It's like building a network of digital superhighways.
It is.
And they're not stopping there.
What else are they doing?
They're rolling out more C-band coverage, launching FWA solutions specifically for multi-dwelling units, and investing in private networks. It's like they're leaving no stone unturned.
It's a really smart, multi-pronged approach.
It is.
And it shows they understand that their customers' needs are changing.
Mm-hmm.
They're not offering a one-size-fits-all solution.
Right.
They're tailoring their offerings to meet the specific demands of different segments.
Yeah, it's like a connectivity buffet. There's something for everyone.
Exactly. And that's a huge competitive advantage.
It is.
They're able to cater to a wide range of customers, from individuals to businesses to large enterprises.
But we can't ignore the elephant in the room, competition.
Right.
The wireless and broadband markets are both incredibly fierce, with tons of players vying for market share.
It's a constant battle.
How is Verizon planning to stay on top?
Well, they're doing it through a combination of strategies. They're investing in their network, they're innovating with new products and services, they're focusing on the customer experience, and they're staying financially disciplined.
Like they're playing chess.
Yeah.
And anticipating their opponent's moves and making strategic counter moves.
It's a great analogy, and they're playing to win.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just trying to defend their current position,
Right.
They're aiming to expand their market share and solidify their position as the leading connectivity company in the country.
Well, they certainly have the resources and the talent to pull it off. But, they're also facing some headwinds.
Like what?
Like the continued pressure on their legacy wireline business.
That's true, but they're addressing those challenges head on.
Okay.
They're streamlining their operations, investing in new growth areas, and leveraging their existing assets in these innovative ways.
Like their AI Connect strategy.
Exactly. It's like they're taking this vintage car and turning it into a self-driving electric vehicle.
That's a fantastic analogy. It really captures the essence of what they're doing.
It does.
They're taking something that was once considered old and outdated and transforming it into this cutting-edge technology platform.
Yeah, it's a great reminder that innovation isn't always about creating something entirely new.
Right.
Sometimes it's about reimagining what you already have.
And Verizon's proving they're masters of reinvention. They're not afraid to challenge the status quo and push the boundaries of what's possible.
Absolutely.
So it's an exciting time to be following Verizon. They're clearly a company on the move, and they're shaping the future of connectivity in ways that are both innovative and impactful.
Yeah, it's a story that's still being written, but one thing's for sure, Verizon is definitely a company to watch.
Agreed.
They're setting the pace for the industry, and it'll be really interesting to follow their journey.
It will.
It will be.
But before we get too carried away with predictions about the future, let's take a closer look at some of the specific details they shared about their plans for 2025.
Okay, sounds good. What specific initiatives caught your eye?
Well, I was particularly intrigued by their plans to expand their Fios footprint.
Okay.
They're aiming to increase their open-for-sale locations by 50%, bringing it up to a whopping 650,000.
Wow, that's huge.
That's a massive undertaking.
It is.
It's a clear indication that they view fiber as a critical component of their future strategy.
It makes sense given the increasing demand for high-speed internet access.
Right, especially with everyone working from home these days, streaming movies, playing online games.
Yeah.
Fiber is the gold standard for connectivity.
It is, and it's also the foundation for their FWA strategy. They're essentially building out the backbone that'll allow them to deliver those super fast internet speeds wirelessly.
Right, like they're creating a network of superhighways for data to travel on.
Exactly.
And they're not stopping there. They're also rolling out more C-band coverage, launching FWA solutions specifically for multi-dwelling units and investing in private networks.
Wow.
It's a multi-pronged approach that reflects their understanding of their customers' evolving needs.
It shows they get it.
They do.
They're not just offering one-size-fits-all solutions. They're tailoring their offerings to meet the specific needs of different segments.
Yeah, it's like they're offering a connectivity buffet.
It is.
Something for everyone.
Exactly, and that's a key part of their competitive advantage. They're able to cater to this wide range of customers, from individuals to businesses to large enterprises.
It's impressive. But let's not forget about competition.
Of course.
The wireless and broadband markets both incredibly competitive with tons of players all vying for market share.
Absolutely.
So how's Verizon planning to stay ahead of the pack?
Well, they're doing it through a combination of strategies. They're investing in their network, innovating with new products and services, focusing on customer experience, and maintaining that financial discipline we talked about.
It's like they're constantly playing this game of chess,
It is.
anticipating their opponent's moves and making those strategic counter moves.
It's a great analogy. And they're playing to win. They're not just trying to defend their current position. They're aiming to expand their market share and really solidify that position as the leading connectivity company in the country.
They've certainly got the resources and the talent to do it,
They do.
but they're facing some headwinds,
Like what?
like the continued pressure on their legacy wireline business.
Right, that's true. But they're addressing that challenge head on. They're streamlining their operations, investing in new growth areas, and leveraging their existing assets in innovative ways.
Like with their AI Connect strategy.
Exactly. It's like taking a vintage car and turning it into a self-driving electric vehicle.
I love that analogy.
It's a good one. It really captures the essence of what they're doing, taking something that was once considered old and outdated
Yeah.
and transforming it into this cutting-edge technology platform.
It's a reminder that innovation isn't always about creating something entirely new.
Right.
Sometimes it's about reimagining what you already have.
Ah.
And Verizon's proving that they're masters at reinvention.
They are.
They're not afraid to challenge the status quo and push the boundaries of what's possible.
No, they're not.
So it's an exciting time to be following Verizon. They're clearly a company on the move, and they're shaping the future of connectivity in ways that are both innovative and impactful.
It's a story that's still being written.
It is.
But one thing is clear. Verizon is definitely a company to watch.
Couldn't agree more.
They're setting the pace for the industry, and their journey is going to be one to follow closely.
It will.
It will be.
Well said. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
When we come back, we'll dive deeper into the specifics of Verizon's AI strategy and explore how they're positioning themselves to win in this rapidly evolving technological landscape.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
We'll be right back after this. Okay, so before we get back into the nitty-gritty of Verizon's performance and their plans for the future, I want to have a little fun.
Okay, I like fun.
Let's do our "this is not financial advice, but it's fun to think about" segment.
All right, let's get wild.
Okay, so let's get wild for a minute. Imagine Verizon's AI Connect strategy really blows up.
Okay.
I mean, they're already seeing huge demand, pulling in big names, but what if they become like the absolute go-to for AI infrastructure?
That's an interesting thought. They do seem to have a head start in this space.
Yeah.
And their existing assets and expertise, it gives them a really solid foundation to build upon.
Exactly. Now imagine they take it a step further and start offering specialized AI-powered services on top of that infrastructure.
Right.
Like what if they create a platform that makes it super easy for businesses to develop and launch their own AI applications?
It'd be like the App Store for AI.
Exactly.
Giving businesses a one-stop shop for all things AI, they could be the AI enabler for companies across every sector.
Exactly. And imagine if they partner up with companies to offer these tailored AI solutions for specific industries,
Okay.
like healthcare, finance, manufacturing.
Okay, now we're getting into some serious speculation.
We are.
But it's fun to think about.
It is. And hey, stranger things have happened.
Right.
Remember when Amazon was just an online bookstore?
I do.
So what's the outrageous but plausible trade idea you're thinking about?
Well, if you're feeling really bullish on Verizon's AI play, you could buy a long-dated call option on their stock.
The classic go big or go home strategy. But options are risky.
They are very risky.
Of course, this is purely hypothetical, just for fun.
Of course.
But if Verizon really does become the AI powerhouse we're envisioning,
Yeah.
That call option could be worth a fortune.
It could. But let's not forget, there are other factors that could impact Verizon's stock price too,
Right.
both good and bad.
Of course, things like competition, regulation, the overall economy.
Exactly.
But it's always fun to dream big.
It is.
And who knows, maybe our wild trade idea will actually pan out.
Stranger things have happened, but remember, everyone, this is not financial advice. Do your own research, talk to a financial advisor,
Please.
and never invest more than you can afford to lose.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Good.
So with that disclaimer out of the way,
Right.
let's bring you back down to earth and dive back into some of the specific details from this earnings call.
All right. Sounds good. What were some of the key highlights that stood out to you?
Well, besides crushing their guidance and adding a ton of new subscribers, I was really struck by their emphasis on financial discipline.
Okay.
It's refreshing to see a company that's focused on sustainable growth, not just chasing those short-term gains.
Absolutely. It shows they're committed to creating long-term value, which is crucial for investors.
Exactly. They're not about the hype. They're about substance.
Exactly.
They're proving they can grow the business while also managing their finances responsibly. They're not afraid to make tough choices, like implementing those voluntary separation programs to improve efficiency
Right.
and streamline their operations.
And that focus on efficiency, it's reflected in their financials.
It is.
They expanded their EBITDA margin by 50 basis points for the full year, and they're projecting continued EBITDA growth in 2025.
It's impressive.
It is.
And speaking of 2025, they sounded pretty optimistic about the year ahead, projecting growth in wireless service revenue, adjusted EBITDA, and free cash flow.
That's great.
They're also planning to invest heavily in capital expenditures to support all these growth initiatives.
Yeah, what's really impressive is they're anticipating this growth even as they absorb the peak impact of that promo amortization.
Right.
It shows a deep understanding of their business dynamics and a real confidence in their ability to execute.
Yeah. And they also mentioned they're reclassifying some device protection and insurance revenue into their wireless service revenue numbers.
Okay.
So something to keep in mind when comparing their 2025 performance to previous years. They're raising the bar for themselves.
Yeah, this reclassification is interesting because it highlights a strategic shift.
It does.
They're acknowledging the growing importance of these recurring revenue streams, and they're aligning them more closely with their core offerings.
It's like they're saying, hey, we're not just a one-trick pony. We're a multifaceted connectivity powerhouse.
Exactly, and that diversification is really key to their long-term strategy.
It is.
They're not putting all their eggs in one basket. They're spreading their bets across these multiple high-growth areas: wireless, broadband, AI.
Yeah, it's a smart approach. It's like having a well-diversified investment portfolio.
It is.
You're less vulnerable to market swings when you're exposed to multiple sectors.
Precisely. And Verizon is wisely diversifying into these areas that are all experiencing that really robust growth.
Right.
These are mega trends that are expected to continue for years to come.
They're riding the wave of multiple tech revolutions.
They are, yeah.
That's a pretty enviable position to be in.
It is, but it's not just about being in the right place at the right time. Verizon is actively shaping their destiny. They're making smart investments, they're embracing innovation, and they're staying ahead of that competition.
Yeah, it's impressive to see a company of their size and maturity still be so agile and adaptable.
It is.
They're not afraid to shake things up and try new things.
That's the sign of a truly innovative company. They're not content to rest on their laurels.
Right.
They're always looking for ways to improve and evolve.
And they're doing it all while delivering strong financial results. It's like they've cracked the code for sustainable growth.
It's a combination of strong leadership, a clear vision, a willingness to embrace change, and a laser-like focus on execution.
And a healthy dose of ambition.
Absolutely.
They're not just trying to maintain their position as a leader in the telecom industry. They're aiming to redefine what it means to be a connectivity company in the age of AI.
It's an ambitious goal.
It is.
But they seem to be well-equipped to achieve it. They have the resources, the talent, and the determination to make it happen.
They do.
And their recent performance really suggests that they're on their way.
It's going to be fascinating to watch their story unfold.
Well,
But for now, let's zoom in on some of those specific initiatives they outlined for 2025.
okay. Sounds good. What stood out to you?
Well, I was particularly intrigued by their plans to expand their Fios footprint.
Okay.
They're aiming to increase their open-for-sale locations by a whopping 50% to 650,000. That's massive.
That is a massive undertaking. It's a clear indication that they really see fiber as a cornerstone of their future.
Yeah.
And it's a very smart move given that constantly increasing demand for high-speed internet access.
Right, especially with the rise of remote work, streaming, online gaming. Fiber is the gold standard for connectivity.
It is, and it's also the foundation for their FWA strategy. They're building that backbone for super fast wireless internet speeds. It's like constructing a network of digital superhighways.
And they're stopping there.
What else?
They're rolling out more C-band coverage, launching those FWA solutions for multi-dwelling units, investing in private networks. They're leaving no stone unturned.
It's a multi-pronged approach.
It is.
It speaks to their understanding of their customers' needs, those evolving needs.
Yeah.
They're not offering a one-size-fits-all solution. They're tailoring their offerings to meet those specific demands of those different segments.
It's like a connectivity buffet. There's something for everyone.
Exactly. And that's a major competitive advantage,
It is.
They can cater to this wide range of customers from individuals and small businesses all the way to large enterprises.
But we can't ignore the competitive landscape.
Right, of course.
The wireless and broadband markets are incredibly fierce,
They are.
with so many players all vying for that market share.
It's a constant battle.
So how is Verizon planning to maintain their dominance?
Well, through a combination of strategic initiatives,
Okay.
they're investing heavily in their network, innovating with new products and services, prioritizing customer experience, and maintaining that financial discipline we talked about.
It's like they're playing chess, anticipating their opponent's moves and making those strategic counterplays.
A great analogy. And they're playing to win. They're not just defending their current position. They're aiming to expand their market share, and cement their leadership in the industry.
They certainly have the resources and the talent to make it happen.
They do.
But they're also facing those challenges, like the ongoing pressure on their legacy wireline business.
True, but they're tackling that head on.
They are.
Streamlining operations, investing in those new growth areas, leveraging their existing assets in these really innovative ways.
Like their AI Connect strategy, it's like they're transforming their legacy infrastructure into a platform for the future.
It's like taking a vintage car and turning it into a self-driving electric vehicle.
It's the perfect analogy. It really encapsulates their approach.
It does.
They're taking something once considered outdated and transforming it into this cutting-edge technology platform.
Yeah, it's a great reminder that innovation isn't always about creating something entirely new. Sometimes it's about reimagining what you already have.
It's a great point.
Yeah,
And Verizon is really demonstrating a mastery of reinvention.
they are.
They're not afraid to challenge those conventions and push the boundaries of what's possible.
They're not.
So it's an exciting time to be following Verizon. They're clearly a company on the move, shaping the future of connectivity in innovative and impactful ways.
Yeah, it's a story that's still unfolding, but one thing is clear. Verizon is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah,
They're setting the pace for the industry, and their journey is going to be captivating to watch.
it is. But before we get too swept up in the big picture, let's circle back to something you mentioned earlier.
Okay, what's that?
Their pending acquisition of Frontier.
Right. That deal is still in progress, and it has the potential to be a real game changer,
Exactly.
It's expected to close by early 2026.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll give Verizon this significant boost in their fiber footprint, particularly in rural areas.
It's huge. It's like they're gearing up for a broadband battle royale.
It is, yeah.
They're strategically positioning themselves to dominate that connectivity landscape.
And it aligns perfectly with their emphasis on FWA and their AI ambitions.
Yeah.
More fiber means more capacity, wider reach, and greater opportunities to deploy the edge computing infrastructure.
It's all coming together.
It is.
They're setting the stage to become the undisputed connectivity kings.
They are, but as we've discussed, this is a very competitive industry.
It is.
So let's take a closer look at some of the competitive dynamics that are at play here.
Okay.
We can't ignore that fierce competition in the wireless market. T-Mobile and AT&T are constantly on Verizon's heels.
Right.
And the cable companies, they're emerging as formidable rivals in the broadband space.
They are. It's a constant battle for market share.
It is.
And Verizon needs to stay sharp to maintain its edge.
They do. They've got the brand recognition, the reputation for reliability, the willingness to invest, but they can't afford to become complacent.
No, they can't.
They need to keep innovating, anticipate those market shifts, and adapt to those emerging trends.
Right.
The telecom landscape is constantly evolving,
It is.
and only the most agile and forward-thinking companies are going to thrive.
So let's break down the competitive landscape a little bit further. How are T-Mobile and AT&T positioning themselves against Verizon?
Okay, well, T-Mobile has been aggressively expanding their 5G network,
Right.
and they've been particularly successful in attracting those younger customers with their more value-oriented plans.
Yeah, they've definitely shaken things up in the industry.
They have.
They've been very disruptive, and that's forced Verizon to step up their game.
It has, and AT&T has been focusing more on bundling services,
Okay.
offering those attractive packages that combine wireless, broadband, and entertainment options.
Yeah, they're trying to create that one-stop shop for all your connectivity and entertainment needs.
Right.
It's a smart strategy, but it remains to be seen how effective it'll be in the long run.
It does, and the cable companies are also becoming increasingly formidable opponents in the broadband arena.
Yeah, they
They're leveraging their existing cable infrastructure to offer high-speed internet services, and they're often able to undercut Verizon on price.
Yeah, it's the classic David versus Goliath scenario.
It is.
The cable companies are the nimble upstarts challenging the established giant. It's going to be an interesting battle to watch.
It will be, and Verizon can't afford to underestimate any of these competitors. You know, they need to play their cards right, stay ahead of the curve, and leverage their strengths to maintain that market dominance.
So what are some of Verizon's key advantages in this competitive landscape?
Well, they have that vast and reliable network. They've got a really strong brand reputation, a loyal customer base, and a proven track record of innovation.
Those are definitely valuable assets, but they can't just rely on past successes.
Right. They can't rest on their laurels.
They need to continue investing in their network, developing new technologies, and anticipating customer needs.
Absolutely. They need to stay ahead of the curve. And that's where their focus on AI and 5G comes into play.
Right.
These are the technologies that will shape the future of connectivity. And Verizon is positioning themselves to be a leader in both.
Speaking of AI, let's revisit their AI Connect strategy and maybe delve a little deeper into how it works and why it's such a big deal.
Okay, so imagine this. AI is like this super smart brain that needs a constant stream of information.
Okay.
And this really powerful network to process it all. That's where Verizon comes in.
Okay.
You see, they're providing the infrastructure, the digital highways, and those power grids, if you will, that allow all these AI applications to operate at their full potential.
So they're not creating the AI itself. They're providing those essential ingredients it needs to thrive. Like they're the farmers growing the wheat that's used to bake all those fancy AI breads.
Exactly. And just like farmers can sell their wheat to a bunch of different bakeries, Verizon can provide their AI infrastructure to a whole range of companies and applications.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get it now, but where's the money in all of this?
Yeah.
How does this translate into actual revenue for Verizon?
Okay, think about it this way. AI applications need these massive amounts of computing power and lightning-fast connections, right?
Right.
Verizon is essentially selling access to their network and their edge computing facilities to the companies that are building and deploying those AI applications.
So they're basically renting out their digital real estate to the AI giants.
Yeah.
Kind of like a digital landlord for the AI age.
Exactly. And because the demand for AI is expected to skyrocket in the coming years, Verizon is in a really good position to capitalize on that trend.
Makes sense.
And they're already seeing that strong early demand that we talked about.
They are?
And they're investing heavily to expand their capabilities even further.
Yeah, they even boasted about a pipeline of potential AI deals worth over $1 billion.
I know, that's a lot of digital rent checks.
It is.
It's a strong indication that their strategy is resonating with the market. And it highlights that potential for this to become a significant new revenue stream for them.
But let's be real for a second. Is this whole AI thing just hype? Or is it really going to be as transformative as everyone seems to think? I mean, you hear all sorts of crazy predictions about AI taking over the world, robots stealing our jobs.
Let's try to separate the hype from the reality here.
Yeah.
AI is a powerful technology, there's no doubt about it, and it does have the potential to revolutionize many aspects of our lives.
Right.
But it's not about to become sentient and enslave humanity, at least not anytime soon.
Okay, good. Good to hear.
But seriously, what are the practical implications of AI for businesses and consumers? How is this going to actually change the way we live and work?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, AI is already changing how we interact with technology, right?
Okay.
Think about voice assistants like Siri and Alexa, or those personalized recommendations you get on streaming services.
Right.
Those are all powered by AI.
Yeah.
And as the technology advances, we're going to see AI used in even more sophisticated ways.
So we're talking self-driving cars, personalized medicine, Robots doing our laundry.
Those are possibilities, but the real impact of AI is likely to be a little more subtle, a little more pervasive. It'll be embedded in the systems and the services that we use every day, making them smarter, more efficient, more personalized.
So less about robots taking over the world, more about AI working behind the scenes to make our lives easier and more convenient.
Exactly. It's about augmenting human capabilities, not replacing them entirely.
That's a much more comforting thought.
It is.
But how does all this tie back to Verizon's AI Connect strategy? Why should we even care about their role in this AI revolution?
Well, because they're laying the groundwork for all of it to happen.
Okay.
They're providing that essential infrastructure that those AI applications need to function.
Right.
Think of it like this. AI is the software, Verizon is the hardware. They both need each other to succeed.
Oh, okay. Now it's starting to click.
Good.
Verizon's betting that their network will become the nervous system of this AI-powered world.
It's a bold vision.
It is, but it's one that's grounded in reality. They have the assets, the expertise, the vision to make it happen.
Absolutely.
And they're already seeing those early signs of success that we talked about.
They are.
It'll be fascinating to watch how this all unfolds.
It will.
But for now, let's shift gears back to another key aspect of their business, their 5G rollout.
Okay, yeah, their 5G network is a really crucial part of their overall strategy.
It is.
And they're making significant progress in expanding coverage and enhancing capabilities.
So how does their 5G rollout tie into their broader vision, especially with all their AI ambitions?
Well, 5G is about more than just faster download speeds,
Okay.
It's about lower latency, higher capacity, and much greater reliability. All these factors are essential for supporting the demanding requirements of AI applications.
So 5G is like the superhighway for AI data,
Exactly.
enabling it to travel seamlessly and efficiently.
Precisely. And Verizon is building that superhighway. They've been aggressively expanding their 5G coverage, and they're investing heavily in those technologies like millimeter wave and C-band to deliver the fastest and most reliable 5G experience possible.
So they're not just building any 5G network, they're building the best 5G network.
Exactly.
And that's crucial for attracting businesses and developers who are looking to deploy those AI solutions.
Absolutely. Verizon is betting that their superior 5G infrastructure will be a key differentiator in the AI space.
It makes sense.
They want to be the go-to provider for companies that need that speed, the capacity, the reliability to support their AI workloads.
It's a smart strategy, and it aligns perfectly with their overall vision of becoming that connectivity platform of the future.
They're not just connecting people anymore. They're connecting everything, and that includes that rapidly growing ecosystem of AI-powered devices and applications.
So it's not just about smartphones and tablets anymore.
Right.
It's about connecting everything,
Right.
from self-driving cars and smart cities to industrial robots and medical devices.
Exactly. Verizon is positioning themselves to be at the heart of this interconnected future. And their investments in 5G and AI are really laying the foundation for that transformation.
It's a really exciting vision, and it's clear that they're putting their money where their mouth is.
Yeah.
They're making big bets, they're investing heavily, and they're pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
It's impressive, for a company with such a rich history, they're not afraid to embrace the future and chart a new course.
It's true.
They're demonstrating a remarkable combination of ambition, innovation, and execution.
It's inspiring. It's a reminder that even the biggest companies can adapt, they can evolve, and they can reinvent themselves to stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah, it's all about having a clear vision, embracing those new technologies, and being willing to take risks.
And never underestimating the power of innovation.
Absolutely. Innovation is the lifeblood of any company that wants to be successful.
It is.
And Verizon's proving that they're still at the top of their game when it comes to pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
So as we start wrapping up this deep dive into Verizon's world, what are your key takeaways for our listeners?
I think the biggest takeaway is that Verizon is so much more than just a telecom company.
Agreed.
They're evolving into this multifaceted connectivity powerhouse, with ambitions that extend way beyond their traditional business.
They're not just connecting people, they're connecting everything.
Exactly.
And they're doing it while delivering strong financial results, growing, innovating, and taking calculated risks.
Yeah, they're a company worth watching closely, not just for their impact on the telecom industry, but for their potential to shape the future of technology as a whole.
Well said. And on that note, we'll wrap things up for today. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll catch you next time. But before we sign off, I want to circle back to a detail that really caught my eye: their partnership with Vulture to offer GPU as a service.
Ah, yes. That's a particularly savvy move, especially given the insane demand for GPU computing power right now. It's like they're tapping into a gold mine. Exactly. And they're not just providing the infrastructure, they're partnering with a leader in the GPU space to offer a complete solution. It's like they're saying, hey, we got the network, the edge computing capacity, and the GPUs you need to power all your AI dreams. Come play in our sandbox.
What I find fascinating is the potential for this partnership to create a flywheel effect.
Yeah.
As more AI developers and businesses flock to Verizon's platform, the demand for that GPU computing power is just going to increase, which in turn will attract even more players to their ecosystem.
You're like this self-perpetuating cycle of AI awesomeness.
It is.
But let's not forget the other piece of the puzzle, their network transformation work.
Right.
They're basically ripping and replacing a lot of their legacy infrastructure.
Yeah.
Which is freeing up even more resources for AI Connect.
Yeah, this is a crucial point. It's not just about adding new capacity. It's about optimizing their existing infrastructure to be more AI ready.
Right.
They're essentially turning their network into a lean, mean AI processing machine. It's like they're taking a rusty old jalopy and turning it into a sleek, futuristic sports car.
I like that analogy.
But in all seriousness, this network transformation is a major undertaking.
It is.
And it's impressive to see them making such significant progress.
It really is. It's a testament to their long-term vision and their commitment to staying ahead of the curve. They're not just reacting to current trends, they're actively shaping the future of connectivity.
And they're doing it in a way that benefits both their business and their customers.
Right.
More efficient networks mean lower costs for Verizon, which can translate into better prices and more innovative services for us.
Exactly. It's a win-win situation.
It is. It's a classic example of how investing in the future can pay dividends in the present.
Absolutely.
By embracing these new technologies and transforming their infrastructure, they're creating this virtuous cycle of growth and innovation. They're setting themselves up to be the connectivity kings of the AI era.
It seems like it.
But let's not get too carried away with all this tech talk. I want to bring it back down to earth for a second.
Right.
And talk about what this means for everyday people like you and me.
Yeah, that's an important point. It's easy to get lost in the technical details, but ultimately, technology is supposed to serve humanity.
Right.
So how do you see Verizon's AI play actually impacting the lives of ordinary people?
Well, for starters, faster and more reliable networks mean a better experience for everyone who uses their services.
Right.
Think about streaming movies without buffering downloading files in a flash, video calls that don't drop out every 5 seconds.
Yeah, those are tangible benefits that we can all appreciate.
Exactly. And as AI becomes more integrated into Verizon's offerings, we can expect to see even more personalized and intuitive experiences.
Like what?
Think about AI-powered customer service that can anticipate your needs, or smart home devices that learn your preferences and adjust accordingly.
It's like having a personal assistant that lives inside your phone in your home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But let's not forget about the potential for AI to create new jobs and opportunities.
That's
As Verizon builds out this AI ecosystem, they're going to need a whole army of talented engineers, developers, data scientists.
Yeah, that's a crucial point. The AI revolution isn't just about automation and job displacement.
Right.
It's also about creating new industries and new opportunities for people with the right skills.
So if you're a tech-savvy individual looking for a career with a bright future, Verizon might just be the place to be.
Yeah, potentially.
But let's not sugarcoat things. There are also some potential downsides to consider.
Right. Like any powerful technology AI can be used for both good and bad. There are valid concerns about privacy bias, the potential for AI to be used in ways that harm people.
Yeah, that's why it's so important for companies like Verizon to be responsible stewards of this technology.
Absolutely.
They need to ensure that their AI systems are fair, ethical, and transparent.
I completely agree. It's not just about technological innovation, it's about ethical innovation. We need to make sure that AI is used in ways that actually benefit humanity, not exploit or harm it.
Well said.
Okay.
But hey, that's a topic for another deep dive.
It is.
For now, let's focus on the positive potential of Verizon's AI play.
Okay.
They're clearly at the forefront of this technological revolution, and they're shaping the future in ways that are both exciting and impactful.
Yeah, they're a company with a rich history, but they're not afraid to embrace the future and push those boundaries of what's possible. It's really inspiring to see a company of their size and maturity still be so innovative and forward-thinking.
It's like they've discovered the fountain of youth for corporations.
Like that.
But in all seriousness, it's clear that Verizon is a company to watch in the coming years. They're making big bets, they're taking risks, and they're not afraid to shake things up.
And they're doing it all while staying true to their core values.
Right.
Reliability, innovation, and customer focus. That's a recipe for success in any industry.
Well said. So that wraps up our deep dive into Verizon's earnings call.
It does.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time for another insightful look at the world of earnings calls.
See you then.